sharks, science, and saving the ocean all have in common.
Today on BTV, we're diving below the surface to explore the truth about sharks, and it might surprise you.
Sharks aren't just fins in the water or main characters in movies. They're real animals that play a huge role in keeping our oceans healthy.
And helping kids around the world learn that fact is our special guest, Jillian Morris, the founder of Sharks for Kids.
Today is all about ocean adventures, science, and a mission to protect our planet. And we're thrilled to have her with us today. Welcome to BTV, Jillian Morris.
Jillian, thank you so much for having me.
Jillian, what's the mission of Sharks for Kids, and what inspired you to start it?
The goal of Sharks for Kids is to create the next generation of shark advocates through education, outreach, and adventure. And I was inspired by students just like you. You have a voice, you're more powerful than you realize, and you can make a difference for the planet. I need kids to know that sharks are important, amazing animals, and I wanted to bring that to the classroom and make it accessible for students everywhere, whether they live near the water or not. The ocean's really important for all of us, and sharks are a big part of what's keeping our oceans healthy. So really, students, and knowing how much you can do, and if we give students facts and information, just how powerful that can be, that's really what was at the heart of creating Sharks for Kids.
Thank you.
Thank you, yeah.
What are some of your favorite lessons or activities you share with students during your virtual or in-person shark presentations?
Probably my two favorite lessons are shark superpowers. Those are the adaptations that sharks have. 500 different species. They can do some weird, wonderful, incredible things. So I love teaching students that some sharks can glow in the dark. Some have incredible camouflage, and some of them actually give birth to live babies. They have belly buttons. My other favorite one is shark science. So teaching students how we study sharks, the equipment we use, and why we do it. So those are my two favorite lessons.
Nice, thank you. How do programs like becoming a junior shark ambassador help kids make a difference for shark conversation?
Again, students, just like you influence your friends, your peers, your parents, right? So when you know about sharks, the students that you talk to in your class, when you say, oh, we talked to a shark scientist today, be like, they're so scary, they're monsters. But you know differently, and you can share that information with your friends, your family, right? And so students are really, again, very, very powerful. You can make an impact. And so by showcasing junior ambassadors, students who are creating art, doing fundraisers, all the different things that students do, it inspires other students. I don't know how old you guys are, but another student your age, about what they're doing, what they've done, you might go, wait a minute, I'm 9, I'm 10, I'm 11, I'm 7, I'm 12, I can do that too. So it really makes a difference having students act as ambassadors because they inspire other students.
I'm 11.
I'm 10.
Awesome.
One follow-up question. Which types of sharks glow?
Oh, yeah, I saw you guys when I was like, some sharks can glow. So there's a swell shark that actually, we can't see it glow. But if we use special lights and cameras and we project a blue light onto it, it reflects out a green light. And a lot of ocean animals have this. Other sharks actually have little photophores, little light producing cells on their belly. Think of a lightning bug, right? That glows and we can actually see it with our eyes. So you have biofluorescence and bioluminescence in sharks.
Okay.
That's cool. Thank you. Why is it so important for kids to learn the truth about sharks instead of just believing scary shark stories in movies?
There are a lot of scary shark movies and stories out there. And so only see movies or news articles that say monster shark, or books that only talk about sharks with their how many teeth they have and things. But shark bites are very, very, very rare. They are not monsters. They are not swimming around the oceans of the world looking for people. Right? They're keeping our oceans healthy, balanced, and clean. So by providing facts, all those weird and interesting things, right? The glowing sharks, that's amazing. So getting kids excited about these animals, but also understanding that they have value and they're very important for our oceans and that they're not monsters. So then when you grow up, you have that information. You hear silly things, people say stuff, movies, news articles, you know the truth and you can spread that truth. All right. So it's really, really important to have facts change the conversation about fear. All right. And facts turn fear into fascination.
Cool.
Totally. What is one shark fact that always surprises kids when they learn it for the first time?
I think that lemon sharks are connected to their mother with an umbilical cord. So they are born, you have the umbilical cord, and it leaves them with a shark belly button, just like we have.
Yeah.
One follow-up question. Has a shark ever gotten aggressive? And if so, what did you do?
So aggressive is a tricky word to use with animals, because animals, as they're doing things to survive. So if we went to a park and we threw a bunch of breadcrumbs on the ground and all the pigeons came in, right? You've probably seen that happen, or ducks, and they're going crazy for those breadcrumbs.
Mm-hmm.
Are those pigeons aggressive? Not, because they're birds, and you might not use that word with birds. But that is no different trying to get its food, or a lion, or a wolf, or a bear, or any top predator. So read their behavior. Like a cat will arch its back when it's kind of, or a dog might growling, but they do arch up a bit and they'll put their pectoral fins down. So if we see that behavior, we can know that the shark's gone from being really relaxed and swimming to something is bothering it. Its behavior has changed. And when there's water with them, we don't want to do things that cause that. We want to give them their space. We're not touching them. We're not riding them, wrestling them. Handle them when we're tagging them, but that's different. That's not swimming up next to them and grabbing them. And so I've seen sharks change their posture, and then we watch that, and sometimes we have to get out of the water just because what's caused that behavior change, and we don't want them to all of a sudden coming towards us or acting in a different manner that could make us unsafe, but also could be unsafe for the animal.
Where do you do Sharks for Kids from?
So I can do it from anywhere. So I spend most of the year in the Bahamas, but if I'm in Florida or wherever I am and we travel, so I'm headed to the Maldives next month to run programs for Sharks for Kids. And then in May, I'm going to Turks and Caicos to do shark research and school visits. So I get to travel a lot, but our team is spread out all over, and we can teach kids about sharks from anywhere in the world.
Okay, and one last thing. What's like the rarest species of shark?
So there are sadly a lot of critically endangered species, which means if we don't protect them, they're going to disappear. right? Some of the rarest ones, or their numbers have dropped, are things like angel sharks. There's also a few species of freshwater sharks that only some of them one has ever been found. So very rare, but we've not found a lot of them. So we don't fully know about their population. A lot of deep sea sharks as well. They only have seen one or two of them. So be very rare, or it's just that and it's really hard for us to study animals there, so we don't know. But a lot of them are facing extinction, so a lot of them are becoming more rare as their population goes down.
One more question. I heard that you know some myths, so what are some myths that you know about sharks?
So myths, the first one is they can smell a drop of blood from a mile away. Wrong. That's not true. They do have an excellent sense of smell, but not from miles away. And also, you go in the ocean and you get a cut, the sharks are not coming to get you. They're not smelling that blood and coming to get you. They're not thinking of blood, human blood, as a scent for a normal food item they eat. Just like if I brought in a trash can full of dead fish in your class right now, and it was rotten, right, you'd probably be like, oh, and run out of the classroom and try and eat that. Just because we can smell something doesn't mean it's food. I think that's probably the biggest one. The other one, eat everything they see. They have favorite foods, foods that they're designed to eat, just like we do.
Okay. Well, we have about 2 minutes left. Sharks for Kids works with scientists and researchers. Can you tell us what that looks like and why shark research is important?
So not only do we work with other researchers, our team also does research. So a lot of our team are marine biologists, myself included. So Project Lemonade, we're studying lemon sharks like these to understand how many of them are in an area, and we're looking at a family tree. So we're looking at how many moms are coming into that area to give birth. But no matter how we study sharks or where or what species, data, we need to understand where these animals go, where they give birth, where they mate, their food they're eating, their habitat use, all of that, protect them. So if we want to get laws put in place, protect species, like in the Bahamas, we have a shark sanctuary. It's illegal to catch and kill sharks here, but those don't exist all over the world. So we need scientists to give governments and the general public data that we can put protection in place, so hopefully we can save sharks and less species are going onto the endangered species list.
Yes, totally. Well, today we learned that sharks are more than just what we see in movies. They're extremely important and amazing animals that help keep our oceans healthy.
We also learned how one idea turned into a powerful mission. Through Sharks for Kids, Jillian Morris is helping students around the world learn the truth about sharks and how to protect them.
Whether it's learning a new shark fact, becoming a junior shark ambassador, or sharing what you learned with others, even kids our age can make a difference.
A big thank you to Jillian Morris for diving into this BTV special with us and inspiring us to care for our oceans. Remember, when we learn, we lead. Before we go, can you tell everyone where they can go to find out more about Sharks for Kids?
Absolutely. So you can go to www.sharks4kids.com. We have free resources for students K through 12, fun activities, lots of videos, information, just facts about sharks, and information about our research and how you can get involved, book a classroom visit with us, all sorts of awesome, fantastic stuff on the website.
Well, that's all for this special BTV presentation. For Ross and all of us at BTV, I'm Sophia. As always, have a beautiful day and thanks for joining us today. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.